Hello everyone, Kevin T. Rodriguez here from themoviewither.com, here with another rant. Let's talk about Frozen for a moment. You all know that Frozen has been a runaway hit with Disney. After a admittingly very poor marketing campaign, it went off to start making a lot of money, breaking box office records, staying in the top 10 box office receipts for an astonishing 8 weeks. Very unheard of in this day and age where your film is lucky to stay in the top 10 for 3 weeks if you're lucky. And it's nominated for a bunch of awards, has already won a bunch of awards, and I put it at number 4 on my top 10 best films of the year list, and gave it 5 stars. Yes, this is a pretty good movie. A very good movie. And like everyone else, I was looking forward to the home video release date so that I could buy my copy of Frozen. Well, the release date has been announced, and Disney has confirmed that it will be available digitally on February 25th, which at this point is probably a couple days ago, and the Blu-ray and the DVD will be out on March 18th. So that's pretty cool, right? Everything should be hunky-dory? Wrong. Look at the press release and search for Frozen in Amazon.com. You might notice something is missing. Can't figure it out yet? Alright, I'll tell you. The Blu-ray 3D release is nowhere to be found. Let's recap again. The Blu-ray 3D release of Frozen is nowhere to be found. What's worse, Disney has not actually commented on what has happened to it. At first it looked like it would be a Walmart exclusive. Walmart announced this, but then the listing disappeared. Walmart has since denied this, and they have since said there is no word on a Blu-ray 3D release. Strange. And for all it looked like Best Buy was going to have the exclusive disc. Or at least maybe they would have. They had a listing for it that cost a whopping $55, but that was silently taken down too. Disney Movie Club? Not there. Amazon exclusive? Come on. You know Amazon wouldn't want to corner the market on anything they sell. It is just nowhere to be found. What is really aggravating, however, is the dead silence on the matter. When you go to the Frozen Facebook page, you will see thousands upon thousands of comments of people wondering, hey, where's the Blu-ray 3D? I don't see it listed. Is it delayed? What happened? And Disney's response has been nothing. This is poor customer service on so many levels, I don't even know where to begin. Well, okay, I do. Let's start with the movie itself, which was made in 3D and was one of the few 3D films last year that really benefited from the 3D. I think the only other film that might have topped it is Gravity. In fact, the 3D was so popular, it was one of the few noticeable successes in the 3D format last year, where on the first week, it almost matched the ticket sales for the non-3D version, which has not happened in a long time. Well, except for Gravity, of course. I took a friend to see Frozen 3D, and she had never seen a 3D movie before, and her response was, every movie should be in 3D. Of course, we know that's not really true, but that's how good the 3D was. Also, there was the Oscar-nominated short Get a Horse that was showing before Frozen that was also in 3D, and boy, this thing used 3D perfectly. I dare you to try watching it in 2D. It doesn't work at all. I mean, yeah, it's mildly funny, but you are not getting the proper effects. It's like watching It's a Wonderful Life in color. It just doesn't work that way. The only concrete thing we've heard about a 3D release is that Disney has been quick to point out that you can buy it digitally on Vudu in 3D. No, I'm sorry, Disney. I want a copy of the film that actually looks and sounds good. First of all, I don't care if you believe digital's the future. I think discs will really never go away because there's just too much ownership control issues over digital for it to ever completely take over. But ignoring that for a moment, digital movies do not look and sound as good as discs. They are compressed. The sound is usually not as vibrant. And the 3D, I mean, if the regular 2D version of the movie looks compressed in comparison to the Blu-ray disc, then what the heck do they think the 3D digital copy is going to look like? I, of course, have not viewed the 3D download of Frozen 3D on Vudu, which is the only place I could really find it at the moment. So maybe that's an exclusivity deal, but it would be nice to know. But I won't be buying the 3D download on Vudu because not only of the quality issues, but it comes with just the movie. for $35. You are paying $35 for a movie in 3D to look and sound not as good as the disc, and you get nothing else. By comparison, if you buy Frozen in 2D on Vudu and everywhere else, you get the Get a Horse short and all the bonus features that would have come with the Blu-ray for $22.99. I don't even know how they can justify that pricing scheme. Of course, this leads to the issue, what is going on? The answer, I don't know. They could potentially be holding it off for a major Ultimate release later this holiday season, but then Blu-ray 3D and 3D TVs in general have not taken off the way they would have wanted them to. There's definitely a bigger market for it now, and you see the 3D Blu-ray sales for movies that were particularly good in 3D being bought even by people who don't have 3D TVs, because in the off chance they get one someday, they want to be able to experience that again in the way they really enjoyed. The other reason the Blu-ray 3D could be delayed is that Disney really wants to push their digital streaming. In fact, they launched a new movie cloud system on the same day as Frozen was released, so it's not a too outrageous idea, but you're kind of picking the wrong way to do this, because I don't think 3D is enough to jumpstart that as an exclusive. And to make matters worse, Disney is still releasing Blu-ray 3Ds. Finally, the theory comes that, maybe Disney is just not going to release any more Blu-ray 3Ds. They're not worth the extra expense, and people aren't buying them, so they killed it. Yeah, there's a few problems with that. First of all, a Blu-ray 3D disc costs $1, maybe $2 to press. If they didn't want to create a separate version with the Blu-ray 3D and everything else, they should have just made the Ultimate Combo Pack. Then they should have made this the only Blu-ray version to buy, because this movie is popular enough that people will buy the Ultimate Combo Pack if it's the only one they can. That's what you have with hit movies. You exploit them. Disney should know this. But yes, it's not coming out, and Blu-ray 3D sales aren't that great, so that means Disney's giving up the 3D, right? Well, even that's a little confusing. You see, a few weeks ago when people pre-ordered Thor: The Dark World, it was going to be a Blu-ray 3D, Blu-ray, DVD, digital copy combo pack. However, fairly recently and before the item came to the shelves, Disney actually announced that they had changed. So this is obviously the proof we need, because Disney's killing the Blu-ray 3D disc for the combo pack. Can't buy that in 3D, right? No, they actually just took out the DVD. And of course didn't lower the price, much like was Oz the Great and Powerful, which I've already ranted about in another video. But if Disney were really trying to get out of the Blu-ray 3D game altogether, why leave this option available when you're modifying it to take something out in the first place? Why didn't you just cancel the Blu-ray 3D release altogether? And of course, Thor: The Dark World doesn't even benefit that much from the 3D. It's okay 3D. It's kind of nice to have a little depth, but you could watch it in 2D just fine. It should also be noted that the Plane sequel is being released in Disney 3D in theaters. So clearly they're still spending money on making the 3D presentations. In short, this is maddening. There is no reason for Disney not to release a Blu-ray 3D version of this movie, especially since England, Germany, Italy, France, and all the other countries will be getting the 3D version on Blu-ray. This is such arrogance on Disney's part, not understanding the market. They don't understand their fan base. Do they expect people to buy the Blu-ray first and then buy the Blu-ray 3D at a later time? Well, if that's the case, I'm gonna make it very clear right now. I will not buy or even rent Frozen until the Blu-ray 3D comes out. I've seen it 4 times in theaters in 3D. I could certainly live with that. It'll hold me off for a while. And of course, of all the Blu-ray 3D releases to just not make, why did it have to be this one? Why now? Anyway, I think that's about as long as we can go for a situation where we really don't know the answer to what's going on, but I'm going to continue to research and pound their doors, and hopefully we'll get an answer sooner rather than later.